All right, you guys, this lesson will get you ready for your test on chapters 2 and 3 in Algebra 2. Okay, here we go. Let's see, tell whether the relation is a function. So here's a set of ordered pairs, and we're going to see if they're a function. So I'm going to do a mapping diagram, but you don't have to do a mapping diagram. You just want to see what's the relationship with your x's and your y's. So here's all the x's, -6, -4, -1, 2, and 2 right here. And then here's all the y's right here. And so this 6 went to -3, and this -4 went to +5, and so on right here. And right here, this x goes to two different y values, and you can't have the same x going to two different y values to be called a function. So this is not a function because the input 2 goes to both -1 and 3. Okay? Alright, so what else do I have? Find the slope, rate, which is called rate of change. You'll find out later, you guys. But find the slope. This is just basic Algebra 1 of the line passing through those pairs of points. So you're going to use slope formula and you get -2. Okay? Alright, so graph each equation. Okay, these are, again, these are Algebra 1. So I'm going to go ahead and solve for y. And then go ahead and put that into your graph right there, and then so there's the y-intercept, and then I use the slope, which is down 2 over 1, so the y-intercept is at -3, and then from there go down 2 over 1, and then connect them up, and there you go. Okay, easy enough. Alright, this guy right here, I'm going to use the intercept method. So to find the x-intercept, I let y be 0, so that means this goes away, and you have 2x equals -6. So x would be -3, so I'm going to put a point right there. And then when x is 0, my y-intercept is going to be -3 equals -6, or +2. Okay, so there you go, and connect them up, and we're off. All right, and then when you have these, just recognize one is vertical, one is horizontal, you guys. So the vertical one is the x one, and the horizontal one is the y one. Okay? All right, what else do I have for you? Okay, so write the equation of the line passing through that given pair of points. All right, first we got to do the slope formula. So the slope is 3. And then I'm going to use point slope form, you guys. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. And you can use any point that you want. I'm going to choose to use this point right here. So I'm going to substitute this in right here and substitute that 5 in right there. And then go ahead and solve for y and put it in slope-intercept form. Okay, so I'd rather have this answer right here. Okay, if you did put it in that answer, I'd probably ding you a point. I want to have it in slope-intercept form because there's infinitely many points the equation can go through, so there's infinitely many ways you can write it in point-slope form. But there's only one way to write it in slope-intercept form. So I don't want to go through my answer key and grade infinitely many different correct ways. I want to have one correct way. So put it in slope-intercept form, okay? All right, so graph y equals 3 times the absolute value of x minus 1 minus 4. Okay, and compare it with y equals absolute value of x. All right, here's y equals the absolute value of x. Remember, it's a V-shaped graph, and if all else fails, just draw a t-chart, you guys. Put an x here and a y here and do like x equals -3, -2, -1, 1, 2, 3. You know, the absolute value of -3 is +3. The absolute value of -2, so x equals -2, y would equal +2. X equals -1, y would equal +1. The absolute value of 0, the absolute value of 1 is 1, and so on. So it's a V-shaped graph. And all this is going to do is shift it, and I always say opposite same. So it's going to shift it. The vertex is going to be at -1, I'm sorry, +1, -4 right there. All right, and then notice that there's a 1 in front of this. So this 1 was, it's kind of a slope, you guys. It went up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So this one's going to go up 3 over 1 from this vertex right here. So up 3 over 1, and it's gonna be a skinnier one right there. Okay, so there you go. So that's it right there. Okay, so graph this equation. Okay, this is a line, you guys, and it's a solid line because of the equals bar right there. So I'm going to go ahead and graph that guy with the intercept method and then shade one side. Okay, and if you don't know what side to shade, test a point. If I tested 0, 0, it'd make this false. 0 minus 0 is not less than or equal to -2, so I shade the other side. Okay, all right, what else do I have? Graph the system and estimate your solutions. Okay, so that's all right. So here's this guy graphed right here. It's the blue line right here. I did these points right here, and then the red line I solved for y. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's the blue line. I solved for y on that one also. And then here's the points on that guy right here. Okay, so it's negative 1/3 is the y-intercept, and then down 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So right about there, and then over 3. So there it is right there. And then connect those guys up and then estimate your solution. So I'm estimating it's about at 2, -3. Alrighty? Alright, so solve the system using substitution or elimination. Okay, so what I'm going to do is multiply equation 1 by -2. And the reason why I'm going to multiply it by -2 is that will get me a -4x right there with that positive 4x. Okay, and then you can go ahead and add them together right there. When you add them together, I get y equals 4, and then substitute y equals 4 back into either one of those equations. I chose equation 1 right there, and you get x equals -6. Okay, solve this system of linear inequalities. Okay, so we're going to graph this line, and notice it's being shaded this way, but I'm not going to shade it yet because I got to graph the other line also. All right, test 0, 0 if you want to. And then this one right here, it's a dotted line, so there's that dotted line right there, and it's being shaded on that side. So where do they intersect? They intersect up here, so blue and red make purple. There you go. All right, so solve this system. Okay, so what I'm going to do is call them equations 1, 2, and 3. And then, remember, you guys can pause this, you guys. I'm just trying to make this video as short as possible. So, okay, so I'll take equation 1 plus equation 2 and add them together, because when I add them together, let's see, did I add them together? Actually, it's equations, let's see, 5x plus z. It's sorry, I made a mistake right here. It's equation 1 plus equation 3 right here. So this should be equation 3. I'm going a little crazy here. I did this last night. So, all right, so it's equation 3 right there, and then that's going to get me this guy. So let me go ahead and copy because I gotta delete that out so it's faster. Okay, and then I took equation. Never mind what I'm doing. You just watch what I'm doing, right? Just copy paste. Okay, then I took 3 times this equation right here. And then when I multiply that by 3, what happens is, and you have to get rid of the same variable, and since I got rid of y when I added these 2 equations together, 1 and 3, I got to make sure I get rid of y again with a different pair of equations. Okay, it has to be a different pair. All right, and then when I do that, I get this equation, and I call this equation 4 and equation 5, these red guys, and then I'm going to get rid of, looks like z if I take this equation and multiply it times 5 right there. Let me get rid of that, okay? Here we go. All right, and then so when I do that, you guys, I can go ahead and add them together and get 33x equals 99. So x equals 3, and then I'll substitute x equals 3 back right there. Okay, when I substitute it in right there, that's going to get me z equals. It's easier to do this. I'm just thinking ahead, you guys. Sorry about this distraction. Z equals 1 right there, okay? And then go ahead and substitute x equals 3 into one of these equations up here, and z equals 1, and we should be okay right there, okay? All right, and then so I get that final equation, and sorry, that little recorder device is down there, so it looks like it's x equals 3, y equals -4, and z equals 1, so 3, -4, 1, okay? All right, and then so this is easy enough. So perform the indicated operation. So we just add all those guys, and you get that as your answer right there. Okay, that's pretty easy. All right, this one's pretty easy. Just multiply everything times 4. Okay, you'd like to have a lot of those, wouldn't you? Okay, and then this one you multiply, you guys. And this is where I had my arms on the board, and I was saying this one times this one, plus this one times this one. And so I have all that here, and then so here we go. So I did this number times this number plus this number times this number. That's this piece right here, okay? And then this piece right here is going to be, this is on the top row and the right column right here. So 2 times 3 plus -3 times 1. That's what this one is right here. And then this middle row is this row times this column. And then this row times this column right here. That's for this one and this one. And then the bottom's going to be bottom times column, bottom times column. And so you're going to get all that, add them all up, and there you go. Okay, evaluate the determinant. Okay, so this was the last lesson I taught you guys, probably yesterday. So we're going to cross multiply, you guys. So we're going to go this one times this one, 2 times 7, minus 5 times 1. Okay, that's what this says right here. Okay, and you get 9. All right, and then same with this one here. Okay, on this one we got to write those first two columns again. So and then we're going to just go diagonal. I'm going to go down there, multiply that diagonal, and then multiply this diagonal. Add them all together, those products, you guys, and then we're going to subtract the sum of these products. So go up that way, that way, that way. So you'll see all of that with a bunch of arrows right there. Okay, so you see the blue stuff first over here, and then the red stuff, and then when I add all those together and subtract them, I get 45. Okay. All right, and then so use Cramer's rule to solve this system. Okay, so first we got to find the determinant. Whoops, I shouldn't have done it all at once, but that's cool. Okay, so the determinant of these coefficients, 9 and 3 and 4 and -5, is -57, and that's what goes underneath your x coordinate and your y coordinate. And notice the x coefficients get replaced with these constant terms right here, and then the y coefficients right here get replaced with these constant terms right here. All right, notice on the x, the y's stayed the same, so 4 and -5, and on the y's, the x's stayed the same, so 9 and 3. All right, so then go ahead and cross, cross multiply, and then we get -2, comma 3. Okay, and then if you want some extra help, I would assign that for your homework. Okay, take care, you guys.